Hey guys, it's Uncle Sam, and this week I'm bringing you A Quiet Place 1, 2, and 3, Dexter Original Sin, The Agency, Bad Monkey, and Sugar. That's what we're watching.
What we're watching Wednesdays.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to What We're Watching Wednesdays. I am Uncle Sam, and like I mentioned, we've got a long one this time. I'm covering not one, not two, not three, but 4, 5, 6, 7 movies and or TV shows in this particular episode. Probably going to cut it up into pieces. This way it's a little bit easier to digest. But we're going to start off with A Quiet Place. I watched all three of them the other night. 1 and 2, both of them are rated PG-13, and both are directed and starred in by John Krasinski, as well as Emily Blunt and Millicent Simmons. The Abbott family must survive a world invaded by blind alien creatures with ultra-sensitive hearing. They are living on a farm almost a year and a half after the invasion, and the world is looking very bleak. A single loud noise could bring these creatures running from miles away. Now, if that's not bad enough news, the Abbotts are also expecting a newborn baby at any time whenever we encounter them. Not saying newborns are a bad thing, but they cry a lot. This first installment was pretty good. It was a lot of fun, and it really had me on the edge of my seat. I was really encouraged to watch the second one. I was really feeling it. Part 2, like I mentioned, is also directed by John Krasinski. It also Part 2 stars Cillian Murphy and Jimon Hansu. In the second one, we bring in the neighbor Emmett, who is played by Murphy. This time, they're setting off to find a remote paradise island away from the alien visitors. They get this radio kind of clue signal or whatever. So the deaf girl takes off with the neighbor to try to find this place. Dude, I'm really impressed with Jim from The Office vision and his direction. I like the way he shoots. I enjoy him more serious roles. He did really well as Jack Ryan. Although the second one isn't quite as good as the first one, I really enjoyed the story. And next, I'm gonna hit part 3, which was called A Quiet Place Day 1. It's also rated PG-13. But this installment is directed by Michael Sarnowski, with Krasinski only taking a writer's credit. It stars Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, Alex Wolff, and once again we have Jimon Hansu. This film is set in New York, and like the title suggests, it is day 1 of this alien invasion. So, Nyong'o plays Sam, and not me, but another Sam. This is a female Sam who happens to have cancer, and she's in search of a pizza. Essentially, that's her like final wish or whatever. So she's on this day trip with this other group of, I guess they're cancer patients or whatever. So on their little outing is whenever the attack initially happens. So she meets up with Eric, who's played by Quinn, and essentially together they try to survive these monsters. It's a pretty it's a lot more endearing tale. Add in the whole woman is dying to the scenario. Has some pretty cool fight scenes. I say fight scenes, monsters tearing ish up. The movie has a different vibe from the first two, which makes sense because it is a different director. In my opinion, the movies do not necessarily get better, and they don't necessarily get worse as we make our way through the trilogy. They're all available to stream on Paramount Plus, so if you have your subscription, hit it up. Next, also on Paramount Plus, but this is Paramount Plus with Showtime, we have Dexter Original Sin, and this one is rated TV-MA or mature or whatever you want to call it for all of its language and the violence. Michael C. Hall plays his inner voice, and it is Miami in 1991, and a young Dexter Morgan, played by Patrick Gibson, can no longer ignore his urges. His dark passenger is ready to make a move. Christian Slater plays Harry Morgan, that's Dexter's dad, formerly played by James Remar, so he's got some big shoes to fill, and I think he fills them pretty well. I like Christian Slater, always have. Molly Brown plays his sister Deb. It's kind of weird that The cussing is feels really forced. If you've ever watched it, then you know Deb has an extremely foul mouth. But it's I don't know. Like I said, it kind of feels forced. Um, when we meet up with Dexter, he is finishing up pre med and is just starting off his job at the Miami Crime Lab as an intern. We get to meet a young Angel Batista, who's played by James Martinez, a young Vince Masuka, who's played by Alex Shimizu, as well as a young Maria LaGuerta, played by Christina Milan. It's a trip watching these people play these younger versions of characters that I already know so well. Behind my head, that right there is some blood slides that are coasters inside of that brown box. Where was I? Like I said, I've been a fan since the mid 2000s. I think it came out in like 2006. I think I started watching it in like 2007, maybe 2008. I don't know. We get to meet a few new people. Reno Wilson as Detective Bobby Watt. You'll probably recognize him from Mike and Molly. I think he's hilarious. As well as Patrick Dempsey as Captain Aaron Spencer. You probably know him from his role in Grey's Anatomy. Even Sarah Michelle Gellar is in this series. She plays Tanya Martin, the head of the Miami Crime Lab. I'm not sure how I feel about Martinez as Batista yet. I imagine it's kind of difficult to play a younger version of a character that's already established. There's probably not a whole lot of room to move creatively, I guess. It seems obvious that he's trying to match David Zayas' version of the character. Batista was one of my favorites from the original series, so maybe I'm just being a little hard on the guy. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Like I said, it's out on Paramount Plus with Showtime. It's new episodes are coming out as we speak. Well, maybe not today. I don't know when it comes out. But anyways, I think I've watched everything that's out right now. Looking forward to new episodes. Next, I've got The Agency. It's also on Paramount Plus with Showtime. It's also rated TVMA, and it stars Michael Fassbender, Jeffrey Wright, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Richard Gere. It is produced by George Clooney. So there's some names attached to this one. Codename Martian is played by Michael Fassbender. Has returned to the London CIA field office after 6 years of being undercover. Who knew returning would be so difficult this time? Well, after he encounters his ex Sami Zahir, being played by Turner Smith, who I recently saw on Apple TV's Bad Monkey. That was fun. I'll cover that here in a minute. All the emotions lead him to a scary place. Catherine Watterson plays his handler Naomi, India Fowler, his daughter Poppy. And in the world of espionage, you never really know who's your friend and who's your enemy. Trust is a shaky road of potholes, ditches, of lies and deceits. On the other side of the story, we have Danny, who's played by Sarah Lightfoot Leon, who is an upcoming young agent with her first real assignment attempting to get into Iran. This show's a lot of fun. Michael Fassbender is one of my favorites, and he does a killer job. You can see him slipping and coming apart while unable to turn away from playing this game. He calls it a game, but this is like life and death type of game. I think the first 7 episodes are out right now. If you're anything like me, you're going to have a hard time turning this one off. I kind of binged it in 2 days. My next 2 selections actually are going to be streaming on Apple TV. Bad Monkey, rated TVMA, stars Vince Vaughn as Andrew Yancey, Ronald Pete as Neville, John Ortiz as Rogelio, Rob Delaney as Christopher, you may recognize him from the Deadpool movies, Natalie Martinez as Dr. Rosa Campesino, and we have Crystal the Monkey as Driggs. Yes, there is a bad monkey in it, but I don't know if it's fair to call Driggs a bad monkey necessarily. Yancey is the detective turned food inspector in Key West, Florida, where he's sucked into the story of Nick and Eve Stripling. When a tourist finds a severed arm, it is up to Yancey to deliver it to the widow of the fellow that it used to belong to. But things don't seem to add up for Yancey, and he's someone who cannot and will not let things go. Vince Vaughn is once again playing Vince Vaughn. Anyway, he entangles the always gorgeous Natalie Martinez as Rosa, the medical examiner, with his shenanigans, as they attempt to unravel she's way out of his league. They attempt to unravel the story of the missing body to the severed arm. At the same time, we follow the story of Neville, which is a pretty fun story. I like Neville. He's an islander whose home has been sold to a resort developer. He's like right on the beach, like beautiful, man. And Neville is not going quietly. Neither is Driggs, for that matter. Neville enlists the help of the Dragon Queen, a local, I don't know if it's voodoo or what. I kind of missed that part, but when things are not going as quickly as Neville wishes, he steps in to move things along. Neville and Yancey's paths cross, and it turns out that they are more closely intertwined than either one of them would have imagined. It's such a fun story. It's 10 episodes long, and did I mention Bonnie? Bonnie is a wild one. I knew someone like a Bonnie growing up, and they are crazy. In the end, the woman just wants to be held accountable. And there's a cool manatee story that also involves Yancey's dad, played by Scott Glenn. It's a great story filled with twists and turns and a load of fun characters that you never know who you're going to meet. Even Zach Braff shows up in a couple of episodes. Sugar, also rated TV MA, stars Colin Farrell, Kirby Howell-Baptiste, Amy Ryan, Nate Cordry, and Anna Gunn. Colin Farrell is John Sugar. He's a private detective in the City of Angels. He is investigating the disappearance of Olivia, played by Sydney Chandler. She is the granddaughter to the Hollywood producer Jonathan Siegel, who is played by James Cromwell. As Sugar tries to find out what happened to Olivia, he winds up digging into the Siegel back. As Sugar tries to find out what happened to Olivia, he winds up digging up some of the Siegel family's secrets. And some of those secrets they would much rather stay hidden. As a matter of fact, some people would kill to keep those secrets silent. This is a whodunit with a sci-fi twist. Sugar had me intrigued from the first episode. With a draw to old detective movies, John navigates being met with roadblock after roadblock and finding this young woman. The Siegel family, as well as John's own family, have enough skeletons in their closet to give the crypt keeper the willies. You gotta watch to the end to find out why Sugar's partners back. You gotta watch all the way to the end to find out why Sugar's own partners do not want him to investigate this particular disappearance. Will John find out the truth, or will he just keep digging up old bones with more questions than answers? You can find out on Apple TV. This has been a long one. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for making it all the way. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things. Don't forget about Funko Pop Fridays, and we got a new series called Letting It Cook with Jules. So we will see you guys later. This has been What We're Watching.
What We're Watching Wednesdays.
Check out all of our videos at unklesampresents.com.